Welcome to the Lodge. You've accessed
the Lodgecast experience.
Warning, warning, dangerous spoilers ahead. Enjoy.
Looking for some hot takes on the Lodgecast. I need phone counting library rights. I want some hot takes in my eardrums. Watch out for salad dragons. These takes are coming in hot tonight. I want some hot takes. I need your hot takes.
Hello and welcome to a truly expendable episode of Hot Takes. I'm your Lodge Master. With me as always is Brother Bishki.
The boys are back in town.
We got Brother Lucas in the back.
So this is Christmas.
And our resident action hero, Brother Justin, is here.
They're expendable. Oh
my God. The things we do for you, dear listener, the things we do for you. The movie tonight is Expendables 4, otherwise known as Expend4bles.
4-balls.
The A is a 4. Oh, Jesus Christ.
We were going to dodge this, but I'll just reveal the Rotten Tomatoes right now because that's the reason we're here.
There's a rule. There's a rule that kicks us into gear, sends us into the action, into the shit.
Based on 115 reviews, this is at 13%.
13? I thought it was 16.
No, it keeps dropping.
It dropped. The altitude dropped.
And it's pretty tough to get that nowadays,
That is low.
Considering how much Rotten Tomatoes is cooked.
Right. Yeah. You got to be really bad to get under 20. That's when it kicks in for us. If a movie is under 20 on Rotten Tomatoes, we cover it.
Yeah.
We cover it at the AMC Burbank 6. Expendable 4's at the 6.
So what's the calculus? You have to factor in the action star over 70.
Yeah.
It's the fourth in a franchise.
It's a legacy sequel. 10 years too late?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
9 years too late.
What's our history with the Expendables franchise?
I'll start. I saw the first one. Justin and I saw the first one.
Back during the Obama administration.
2010.
2010?
Yeah.
Shit. And
2 years after the Occupy Wall Street.
Thank you for putting that into context.
Wait, is that true?
No, I have no idea.
Fake news.
The conceit of the Expendables franchise is that Sylvester Stallone's throwing a party and he's inviting all the action stars of yesteryear back for some senior citizen exploits. And back in the Expendables original days, you'd get bigger names. And now that we're drifting down to the Expend4bles, those names have thinned out a little bit.
They're like fourth on the list, those names.
And they're becoming more and more geriatric.
But I think I saw Expendables 1 and I think I saw Expendables 2. And after 2, I was just like, no.
I was into 1. I remember Eric Roberts was like a villain in it.
Sure.
Mickey Rourke showed up.
Yep.
And
Schwarzenegger was in 1.
Yeah,
briefly.
Schwarzenegger was in there. Harrison Ford was the pilot
that was
for a while.
3, I think. 3 was really stacked. And that was like 2014.
Probably because Stallone was like, this is the last one, I swear.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Stallone wants out on this one, which will reveal why.
Yeah, I have no relationship with the original trilogy.
See any of them.
You didn't see any of them?
No, and I thought they all went straight to video, so I was kind of shocked to see Lionsgate pop up on this because I'm like, why are we in a theater right now?
No, sir.
This is a theatrical movie? No wonder it's 13%.
Justin, how many did you see?
I thought I only saw the first 2 with you. Apparently, I saw the third one.
Oh,
if
wow.
Harrison Ford was in the third one.
So you've run the whole series now.
Snipes was in it.
I haven't seen John Wick Chapter 4, but like Expend4bles makes John Wick Chapter 4 look like Citizen Kane, probably.
A lot of speculation there.
Correct.
You are correct.
Yeah.
So the Expend4bles are drifting along on a fart and a prayer. We got Stallone We got Randy Couture
We
with
got
his
Baba Yaga Stallone.
Baba Yaga Stallone
He
with
can't
his
even
I'll be
talk
list-
because his face is sheer candle wax
I'll be
stretched over a skeleton.
I'll be listing most of these people in the schnapps.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Oh my God.
Before we get to it,
How do you get the protein as quick as possible into the bloodstream? A little schnapps.
Rotten Tomatoes. A new generation of stars joins.
new.
Stars?
A new generation of stars join the world's top action stars for an
What world?
adrenaline-fueled adventure in Expend4bles. Reuniting as a team of elite mercenaries, Jason Statham,
Yes,
Dolph
Statham.
Lundgren, Randy Couture, and Sylvester Stallone are joined for the first time by Curtis 50 Cent Jackson,
Woo!
Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, Jacob Scipio, Levi Tron, and Andy Garcia. Armed
And noted action star Andy Garcia.
with
Finally.
every weapon they can get their hands on and the skills to use them, the Expendables are the world's last line of defense, and the team gets called when all other options are off the table. But new team
you wrap
members.
this
No,
up,
is it still
please?
going?
Hold on. But new team members with new styles and tactics
What?
are going to give, quote, new blood, unquote, a whole new meaning. Period.
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
So Randy Couture's main character trait is that he's got disgusting cauliflower ear. And that's pretty much all his dialogue is explaining it to people, which I kind of liked. Like every time he'd start explaining his ear to people, it would fade out because they lose interest.
How is
Yeah,
he?
that was the best part of the entire movie. That scene with him and 50 Cent,
Yeah.
where he's just looking at him. He's like, "What's up with your ears, man?"
Yeah.
Because the whole theater's thinking it,
Right.
and then
And
he
it-
starts explaining and then walks away.
Yeah. And then 50 Cent.
They just hold on 50 Cent, like thinking about it.
50 Cent zones out. Like if you keep your eye on him, he's kind of a non-entity in this movie. If you just keep your eye on Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, he is just zoning out through most of this because he has nothing to do.
Yeah, there's a shot of Megan Fox in a bar taking a shot of whiskey, and she had this look of disgust on her face. And for a split second, I thought because she was like in the movie, you know, she's like, "This is the movie I'm
This
in."
is where
like,
this is where my career
where it
is.
ended up.
Megan Fox seems like she wandered in out of a Danzig movie. Like
Yeah.
she's in a different. She's in
Death
a different
Rider
movie.
rides alone.
Yeah.
I thought if I was Megan Fox and I had all those hair extensions and was going on a like kill crazy mission, I'd put it into a ponytail or maybe put like a hat on just to protect me going around those curves and in those tunnels. And
That's
stuff
the
on
kind of
ship.
stuff you think of. You find yourself thinking about during a movie like this. You got Dolph Lundgren, who looks like he's gonna keel over and die at any point. Like that man looks like he's in pain.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
his
man.
his main character trait is that he's a recovering alcoholic.
In a wig.
Right.
And he looks like, yeah, he's been through cancer. Like his body is emaciated. Like he does not look healthy.
Right.
Yeah. And you can't understand a word he said.
Nothing.
I
No.
couldn't
Not
understand
that
what
you ever
anyone
could.
was saying across the board, with
No,
the
yeah.
exception of Megan Fox.
But Dolph Lundgren does have an axe that he carries around, which is pretty
his
cool.
trauma hawk.
Traumahawk. And then you got Jason Statham
Doing
who-
all the heavy
As Father
lifting.
Christmas, right? I didn't know his
Yeah,
name was Christmas. So take a drink every time someone says Christmas.
His name is Christmas. The only cinematic
Lee-
Christmas is
Lee
Lloyd
Chri-
Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, that's all you think of.
But now this guy's name is Christmas.
Now we
I
have
like
a
to think it's a
Lee
sh-
Christmas.
I like to think this is a shared universe, and Lloyd Christmas is his ne'er-do-well brother.
That's good.
But yeah, people are always making quips like Feliz Navidad before they try to kill him, you know? Ugh. Anyway, so it's like hanging out with a bunch of douchebag uncles that you want to get away from.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fucked up.
Randy Couture, man, he cannot act.
No.
He's got dentures. It's his
Oh,
teeth.
God.
Like they don't do him any favors.
And Andy
Well, but-
Garcia's got his fucking toothpick going. Like, that's not a natural fit. Andy Garcia with a tough guy toothpick.
I thought it was a bad acting choice until, of course, it's like a plot point later.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like, man, did they give him like a budget for all these toothpicks? Because he had one in every scene except towards the end.
And Stallone is like full on melted Baba Yaga in
Mhm.
this. And the movie starts with him looking for his ring. Like he lost his
my ring back.
He lost his-
without
he lost his ring in a thumb wrestling competition. This movie thinks it's so fucking funny too, which is so tough. It's so tough to watch when they're smugly delivering lines that they think are funny, but nothing is funny.
Yeah, and by the way, our theater's empty, so no one's laughing but us.
No, we're the only ones laughing. And he and Statham go into this brightly lit bar. It's even more brightly lit than the one in Halloween Kills that I got pissed off at. Like, something about the way this bar is lit just
It's like a TV sitcom.
It made me livid. It's sitcom lighting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you got to get my ring back, but my back hurts, so you got to go do it. And Statham's like, okay, I'll do it. And he gives him brass knuckles. It's like, fuck you, like, fight fair.
Yeah.
He takes out all these dudes with brass knuckles on. And then it's like funny, like Stallone's just like, well, now my back feel better.
And then Stallone later kills the guy who took his ring in the most cold-blooded way ever. The guy was like psychologically tortured before he blew up in a plane crash.
And they're just smiling, like Statham just smiles his tiny baked bean smile, like baked bean teeth. Anyway, I'm sure somebody finds all this charming.
It's such a weird reality we're living in where, 20 years ago, if you would have told me we would have a serious problem with people keeping their jobs for so long that they die of old age, and that problem is pervasive in all branches of government and action films.
Action films, yes, that's a good point.
I would have been like, oh, we have a problem with teachers who are too old or doctors. Nope. Elected leaders and action stars.
Stallone is the Diane Feinstein of action.
Diane Feinstallone.
Yes, there it is. So they go on a mission to Libya.
We go to Gaddafi's old chemical plant.
That's the lower third. It says Gaddafi's old chemical plant. And the green screen is out of control.
Oh, man. The effects I was really enjoying. Like, this is like late 90s CD-ROM.
Oh,
it's like that
totally
Mysteries of
CD-ROM.
Laura, like CG.
It's totally CD-ROM. Now, Bishke, I was sitting farther away from you than usual. I got no read on what you were doing.
I was laughing quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, Bishke got a good laugh. I heard him laugh once at something.
So they have this big action scene at Gaddafi's old weapons factory. And Stallone's flying high above the action. And they're shooting anti-aircraft shit, just CG explosions all over the place. And he appears to get shot down and die. And we were just cackling.
The plane crash, I haven't seen that bad of a CG plane crash since like Air Force One.
So bad. We were just laughing so hard.
We lost it because the punchline is they go in for an insert of Stallone, the pilot's corpse, which is charred skeleton
corpse.
remains. And you go to his hand where his like ring that Jason Statham just got it back for him is like on his like encrusted finger. But then it cuts to like a high angle and you see like the head of the corpse. Like you see like everything and it is graphic.
And
it's like Uncle Owen in a beret.
Yes, exactly. If you know, you know. And then we go back to that fucking Halloween Kills bar and they've got his charred arm with the ring on it as like a centerpiece in this kind of memorial party.
Like they're in Vietnam, like they're in the jungles of Vietnam all of a sudden.
Now
that's how you know he's dead.
Right. I leaned over to Justin. I'm like, is that his arm?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So this is when a coincidence occurred that kind of, I mean, it is spooky season. It kind of creeped me out a little bit because it was so crazy. When Justin and I went to the Expendables the first, we mainly went because nearby, like across the street from the theater, in a park, there was a free Blue Oyster Cult concert. And so that's what we really were out for. So we were, jamming on some Blue Oyster Cult. In this scene with this disembodied arm, there's a Blue Oyster Cult cover band.
Whoa.
Playing Don't Fear the Reaper. I was like,
it's all connected,
blown minded. I'm like, what the fuck?
And there's a great button to that scene where Jason Statham's leaving the bar and he turns and he goes like, Barney hated cover bands, which was Stallone's character, and then it just abruptly ends. Like it just cuts to the next scene.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I mean, does anyone love cover bands? We tolerate cover bands.
We tolerate them. So then, pretty much the only great scene in the movie is when Statham has to find another job. So he's like looking through the classifieds, and he ends up being a security detail for an online influencer. And we go to this like bikini babe vodka launch party or something.
Yeah.
And there's this dude that's like, you know, harassing him and trying to make him hold his like sign of whatever he's promoting, and he's live streaming. And Statham just beats the shit out of him on live stream, which, you know, in a movie so devoid of actual humor, like that was a welcome moment. Because at least it was like something else was happening other than a bunch of Mandos grunting at each other in a fucking warehouse.
Yeah, that's what I wanted the whole movie to be, is like retired mercenaries getting other jobs.
I mean, come on, guys. Like, it is criminal how much comedy is left on the table in this movie. Like, it could be so fucking charming and funny.
Well, that segues into a callback that happens later in the movie where guys, some
Mandos,
disposable Mandos on the boat are watching his live stream, and they're like, I'd love to meet this guy.
Yeah.
He's cool. And then Statham
sneaking around, he sees him do that.
Yeah, and kills them silently. Doesn't even do like a, hey, it's me.
Like,
and they
no
see the look on their
recognition.
faces.
He should have popped
like,
up with them.
Like
Like,
their happy elation to like, oh my God, it's him, to like them getting their throats slit.
he should have been watching it
funnier.
with him and be like, you know, oh, he's handsome too, but
Yeah.
he's got a big dick, don't he?
Yeah,
You know?
no one-liners, nothing.
No, and that's the other thing. Like, they'll, you know, explode something or kill somebody, and the camera will push in, and it looks like they're about to say a one-liner, and then it just cuts away. I don't know if the one-liners were like too rotten to like even put out there or what. But anyway, Megan Fox leads the fucking crack team.
Oh man,
onto this boat.
Her delivery of like what's going down in the mission.
Oh,
it felt
that was Dan Ziggy, and
it felt like you're like going into like a laser tag game at a mall or something.
yes.
Oh my God.
That's exactly right.
She's so out to lunch. She's just like, there's a nuclear weapon. And
Man, I kind of feel bad for her right now because she's getting a lot of shit for her performance in the new Mortal Kombat.
Oh, she's in that?
Ooh.
Yeah, performance
Jesus.
capture and dialogue, and everyone's like, man, she is phoning it in long distance, even by video game standards.
Yeah. I felt the same way when she took over the platoon for Stallone. I would forget that they were mercenaries. I felt like that we were backstage in a green room at like a strip club or something, you know, and these were all like 50 Cent and Randy Couture, all bouncers, you know. I was like, you know, and that 70s show guy, Fez or whoever that guy was, I was like, he's the DJ, you know, like,
why isn't Wilmer Valderrama in the Expendables?
I know, right? I think
Come on.
He's probably laying low for multiple reasons. But this is when I leaned over to Lucas and I'm like, we are less than halfway through this film.
Oh,
and Lucas
man.
is like, I thought this was the climax. I'm like, me too. That's when they're getting on the boat. We are on this boat
for the rest of the movie
for an hour
Settle
and
in.
change.
Put on some sunscreen.
It is a boat trap. You settle in.
It's a full night on the boat.
like on a boat in an action movie is like a courtroom in a drama.
Yes.
You know, it's like, don't get stuck here. Like, please don't let this be it. Although they do get a little mileage out of it later with the dirt bike, but like not enough.
They ride around dirt bikes on the boat. Oh my God. So
I also felt bad for Tony Jaa. He's in Thailand and Statham and him get on a boat together. And like Statham needs to learn some Thai or something because Tony Jaa, I couldn't understand anything he was saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, just Statham, just learn some Thai language or something too.
That dude was a welcome addition. He brought a
brings
little martial arts.
The martial arts energy, and you got like Randy Couture. He doesn't do shit.
No.
He's like an MMA guy.
50 Cent doesn't do shit.
50 Cent doesn't do shit. So it's just basically Statham and Tony Jaa doing any action stunts.
Yeah, that was my big issue with it, besides Stallone not being in it, because I thought it was his movie.
Right.
Was
it's
that,
a bait and switch for
like,
sure.
There's no Stallone. There's no like other aging elder statesman. Like I don't know who I would get.
Yeah,
but
who
like,
would you even want at this
I
point?
have no idea. But and then for it to just kind of be Statham the whole way through. I mean, I love him, but it just didn't feel like an Expendables movie for me, even though I haven't seen it.
Even though you have no idea what it is.
I've never seen these, but it didn't feel like one.
Right.
No, I swear, like for years it was always Stallone front and center. And then so when it started with him, I was like, all right. And then when he died, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like
It was
kill
a
him?
dirty move.
It's like too abrupt or something.
It's
or
a dirty torch pass.
They don't give him like a
Yeah.
final moment. He just poops and dies.
Yeah. This is one of those movies where if they're like going over a plan or something, the camera's dollying to give it a little bit of a motion. But this is the kind of movie where it gets to the end of the dolly track and then it goes back the other way and they leave that in the cut. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, and a pet peeve where it's obvious that the quality is slipping.
Oh,
Like,
I just thought of an actor. Instead of Megan Fox taking over the team when Stallone dies, it's Anthony Hopkins.
okay
in a
sure.
wig.
Sure, yeah.
You know,
De-aged.
one thing I want to know if you guys notice this. So when you're getting a shot of actors walking towards the camera being badass in
there's a
slow
few of those.
motion, you have to tell the actors that the slow motion happens in camera. You don't have to walk slower.
Walk slower.
And when they did it in this movie, they did it twice.
Yeah.
It seemed to me like the actors were like, okay, we need to walk in
Right.
slow motion.
They forgot.
So
Yeah.
they were walking in slow motion, and it was
I would
just
not
shot
doubt it.
24 frames a second.
I would not
Like
doubt
something was off.
It was hilarious seeing this crew too, because they kind of suck. Like they screwed up the Libya mission. They get trapped immediately on the boat.
Immediately.
Oh man,
Yeah.
there's supposed to
And-
be this crack team to save the day.
So they suck, and it's like 50 Cent and Megan Fox. It's just like
it was
it's
hilarious.
just-
We couldn't
yeah.
help but laugh at that scene because it was like it's a ghost town in here, and then boom, all these guys jump out of like corners like
Yeah.
a Jack in the Box.
Immediately
was
they are captured.
Was the Latin dude supposed to be Antonio Banderas' son?
He must have been.
I don't know.
That sounds right.
Although I don't know.
I could see that.
Banderas was in another one.
Okay, then yes.
Yes.
See what I
'cause
mean? How come? Yeah, we need more people like that in this one.
I think all of Stallone's favors got maxed out. You
Yeah.
know, like
Man.
All the Russian favors.
this is like the grease trap. This is the end of the road. So there's a big bomb on this boat. It's the longest bomb timer in the history of cinema.
28 minutes. So I was like, I got time to go to the restroom. Like,
And you know, just to play this drop, I'm going to say there's a blooper going down.
Fishke's bathroom bloopers.
sorry.
It's not a vital blooper, but it was a charming blooper. So, while Bishke was off on his mission, Dolph, who has been sober this whole time and his action heroing has been suffering for it, he finally just goes, fuck it. And he takes out his flask and just guzzles it like Popeye throating some spinach.
And I was very disappointed when he didn't say, I have the power.
He should have. Like, why the fuck not? You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like just reference any and all former glory that you've experienced as an actor in this. But he just kicks ass then. So big surprise, big twist. When Andy Garcia calls out Jason Statham, everybody on the boat's dead. And he calls him out and he's like, I just want to fight man to man. And Statham comes out. And then right before they can fight, suddenly Garcia's just like fucking blown to bits. And a chopper pulls up. And who is it? It's Baba Yaga himself, Stallone. He ain't dead after all.
thing can go.
He's just been hanging around, and Statham's just like confused, and he basically very easily jumps onto the chopper with him, and Stallone just blows the boat to smithereens.
We get a nuclear test right in the middle of the ocean.
The bomb goes off, makes a wave like the size of a planet, and they just fucking fly off. And they go back to the fucking Halloween Kills bar. where the charred arm is still on display. Like, I can't tell if that's a cool thing. Like, would you continue to go to a bar where a human arm was just
No way.
outreach?
That's unsanitary, man.
Well, and nobody listening cares, but there is a backstory to where the fake corpse came from. Not
Yes.
fake, it's a real dude.
Yeah.
But the guy was kind of an asshole. But did he deserve to die in a plane crash and be dismembered and
Yeah.
have his body parts on
So-
display?
No, yeah.
So what
Like,
happened?
it's super
Yeah.
weird.
If you really think about it, which nobody who has ever watched this movie has really thought about it, I would wager to guess. What happened is Stallone went to this guy under the cover of night, I presume, knocked him out, dressed him like himself, put him onto the plane in this fucking maintenance closet where he remained unconscious from New Orleans to Libya. And he then, when it was time for him to parachute out, took this guy out of the closet, put him in the pilot seat, at which point he immediately wakes up, perfect timing, and screams and dies.
As Stallone parachutes up the
And
plane.
as Stallone parachutes to safety out in the middle of fucking Libya somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, how did he get back to Nolans? What?
And this goon's crime was that he presumably beat Stallone in a thumb wrestling contest.
Beat him fair and square.
and won his ring, his precious ring,
that is dark.
and then wouldn't give it back.
Oh man, that gives the movie such a dark pallor.
It's
such
Stallone.
a sick underbelly.
Stallone fucked up by even putting that up as a prize.
Yeah.
But also
and
owning it.
it ends on a
in the
button with them
first
just
place.
like Statham is genuinely perturbed. He's like, you didn't really do that, mate. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did. I did my ring back.
And then his like teeth sparkle, and then we dissolve
and then
out.
the whole fucking funky bunch is lined up awkwardly in this fucking overlit bar, and like Dolph is dressed in like a bolo tie, like just on the edge of death, on the edge of oblivion.
This scene for me was really depressing when the boys are back in town
Oh my
started
God.
playing.
It just slams into
Because-
boys are back in town.
Because my brain immediately went into defense and was like, fucking dad rock.
Yeah.
This is a dad rock movie.
Yeah.
And then in my brain, there was a record scratch. It occurred to me, no, fuck, I'm dad aged.
You're
This
the
is-
dad now, Justin.
This is grandpa rock. And this is an
Yes.
action movie for grandpas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which makes it even weirder that Statham is like wrestle fucking Megan Fox in this.
Yeah.
Like,
This is the equivalent to like one of those Diane Keaton
yes,
like, geriatric
something's
movies
got to give.
or
Yeah.
Palms.
Something's gonna blow.
Yeah, there was a little salad crouton moment where Andy Garcia is being held hostage on the ship,
Salad crouton.
and they like do a mock execution where they put a gun to his head and like pull the trigger, and he acts scared, like and instead of letting Andy Garcia walk to the bridge to meet the head bad guy, they like knock him out with the gun.
Oh,
but he's
it's
like,
so
but
funny.
he's kind of like conscious. So as they
Yeah,
drag his
yeah.
body out, he's like grabbing onto
Oh,
things. He's like
it's-
trying to hold that. He's like trying to hold on, and it's so weird
No.
in retrospect because he turns out to be a double cross like bad guy. So why was he like trying to
No,
grab
he
onto
wasn't
shit?
trying to grab on. It was just one take, and it was awkward as fuck the way they were dragging him. Andy Garcia is a distinguished gentleman. He's not used to being dragged like that.
Yeah, he was like putting his hands out, I
Yeah.
guess, to like protect himself
Yes.
from getting like banged up or something.
That's what it was.
Oh,
You're
that's
totally
it.
right, though. This movie's 80 for Barney.
Yes.
Listener,
Yes.
the main character's name is Barney
Yes,
Ross.
yes.
Barney Ross.
No one remembers that, but his name is Barney
TV
Ross.
sitcom named Barney Ross. Am I crazy? Like James
You're
L.
thinking
Brooks?
of Barney Rubble?
No,
Barney Miller.
Barney Miller.
Is that a TV
Yeah,
show?
you're thinking of Barney Miller.
Who was in that? Who was Barney Miller?
I don't know. Could he blow up a nuclear vessel
Yeah.
with a helicopter?
If he can't, who cares? Let's go with them expendable bones. Oh boy. Oh boy. Justin, you're first to bone.
First to bone.
Oh man, I don't wanna. Yeah, this was a roller coaster because there's potential here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I think the franchise, if I may, has made a tactical error because the whole reason why it was a hit in the first place was because of the actors.
Right.
Okay, fine.
And it was
we
kind
all
of a
showed up.
It was kind of a circus sideshow to see all these actors.
Yeah,
together.
it was an
Right.
event movie. It was
That was the hook.
It was the Avengers Infinity War of aging action stars, and
Right.
that's fine.
Yes.
However, when you get to movie 4, I gotta know who these fucking characters are.
Right.
I can't just know that a guy's got cauliflower ear.
Yeah.
Or the one guy has a drinking problem. I need like
That is it.
That's-
Is their character traits.
and it's really a larger problem with action movies now, which is we're going for the actor.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I want to go see Tom Cruise jump off a fucking cliff, but I don't know who the fuck Ethan Hunt is.
Right.
I know who Indiana Jones is. I know who Cobra is. I know
Yes.
who Rambo is. They're very distinct characters.
Right.
And now we're relying too much on the actor,
Right.
which is bizarre because Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger were always Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but
Right.
they still had character traits.
Right.
Let Schwarzenegger less so,
And
but
plus
Stallone did.
As long as Stallone was in the movie, but he's not in the movie, which is a cheat.
No,
It
he
really,
fucking ducked
He
out.
wanted out.
Yeah, it's a bait and switch.
Like, how many days of shooting did he do on this? 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
But
Tops?
then, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Like, what do we want here? Do we want to see Stallone having a hard time running from explosions or using a digital
And
double?
his
You know,
character's
I mean-
kind of an asshole. So
I remember
don't
him
know.
running in Expendables and being like, "Whoa, he's getting old." Like,
Yeah, and that was
14
years ago.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you know, the new generation of action stars are non-existent. They're all at least 40. The only people really fucking crushing it right now are like in Korea and India.
Yeah.
We're blowing it in America. We're like all in on Marvel.
Yeah.
And we're ignoring like starting new exciting action franchises. If I may, the Extraction movies on Netflix are excellent action films.
All right.
And I highly recommend the show Warrior, available
go.
on Max.
Wow.
Check it out.
Definitely that is action worth your time. This is not, for the sheer weirdness of some of it, I give it 1 bone.
Yes. 1 bone from Brother Justin. Let's go over to Bishki. I'm very curious.
Yeah, I was enjoying this more than I probably should have been. It's kind of a throwback to like late 90s CG. Like,
Yeah.
that stuff was really entertaining. But once we get on that boat,
That boat. That
Oh.
boat. Das Boat.
because that really was a struggle to get, because I knew
I knew.
once we got there, because it was a boat, probably on a big sound stage.
Yep.
And with a green screen background, and I was like, "Oh, this is a huge set piece.
Yeah. We're gonna
We're gonna
remain.
We're gonna be here for like an hour," and we were.
I think BOAT is an acronym for boring old action tropes.
Yes. Yes.
Boat is afraid.
And then I saw all the producers, and there was like a lot of Russian money, and I was like, "We're funding the war machine." It's like it just felt gross. Felt really gross, and so I'm only going to give it 1.5.
Ooh.
But I was going to go for 2 early in the movie. I was
Right.
like, this is really, really rotten. And
So
and
rotten, it's tasty.
that I'm getting a little juice out of it. But yeah, 1.5 from me.
1.5.
I'll see 5 if it if it ever makes it out. I'll be there.
I guess we will too.
with Baba Yaga.
Oof. All right, hothead. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, Expend4bles is not going to get 4 bones.
No,
That's for sure.
I wish.
It's funny. Like, I couldn't really understand any of the dialogue. And then all of a sudden, like 50 Cent showed up and I just lost it. I was just laughing because I'm like, oh man, it's like everyone they're putting up here is like mumbling. It's
Yeah.
crazy town. And yeah, like the movie, lost me when the bad guy in Libya at the Gaddafi's old chemical base
It
like
lost you at hello.
yeah, murders the general's like wife and kid on
Yeah,
screen.
yeah.
And I was like,
Murdered his wife and then shot his like young kid in the head.
the kid looked like Bambi. The kid couldn't have been
Yeah,
like more
and then
innocent.
they cut back to like Stallone yucking it up with Statham. It's like no,
Not like this.
no.
So that stung, and it just the cast wasn't there, and I thought wouldn't it have been interesting if like Statham took over Stallone's job and hired like all aging female action stars or something.
Ooh.
Like Angelina Jolie or Sandra Bullock, I have no idea. Like or
Cynthia-
Sharon
Yeah,
Stone,
they
like
surely sign on.
Cynthia Rothrock.
At
Yeah.
least Cynthia, yeah.
or something like that. Because this just wasn't doing it for me. Like I was having a good time with you guys, just laughing at how bad it was, and it was a great theater experience. Shockingly, at the AMC
It's a
6 because no one was in there. It was like our own like private screening room, and that rarely happens.
There
these
was
days.
a couple that came on a date and they left. I think after the kid got shot.
Oh, that's right. A couple walked out. I remember that.
They were like, no.
Yeah, I remember that. And it made me think back to that time I had a screening in my studio apartment in Hollywood when we all watched Universal Soldier
Yeah.
Day of Reckoning.
Oh,
which I thought was amazing back then, directed by John Hyams. You should check it out.
You got 20 people together to watch.
Yeah, I don't know what that says about me, but that was like the only screening I ever had.
That room was
It was
packed.
packed.
But yeah, like tonight I'm on Brother Justin's wavelength. I got to give it one bone just because there's no Stallone and
Yeah.
Andy Garcia's like he's a good smarmy villain mastermind. But when he was like
Ugh.
mad dogging Statham, I was genuinely perked up. I was like, wait a second, are they gonna like CG Garcia fighting Statham? Because like
Yeah.
Garcia's older than Statham.
Yes.
And then like all of a sudden, it's like the Deus
They just
Machina.
Blew him up.
Yeah, like sausage
Yeah. All
in the meat
right.
grinder.
One bone. I mean, this is the kind of movie that you have Thanksgiving with your family, and your dad's like, let's put on a movie, something fun and dumb, and he's gonna go straight to this, and he's gonna put it on, and it's gonna fill the time, and you're gonna fall asleep during it. And you're going to wake up periodically in your turkey haze.
You see a child get shot.
See a child get shot, go back to sleep. Wake up, you're on a boat. Go back to sleep. Wake up, you're still on the boat. Go back to sleep and wake up for the boat climax. I had a great time. 4-bone theater experience. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not Expend 4 Bones. This is a half bone for the influencer scene and a half bone because Dolph called his axe a trauma hawk. That's one Stallone bone from me. And I mean, they can't make another one.
No, Dolph.
Are the previous movies that cheap though with the
No.
single location?
No.
It's just because the fourth one, everyone's tapped out already.
Yeah,
just-
it's tapped. The
Got
fucking
it.
tap is tapped.
Got it. Because I like Rambo Last Blood. I thought had more action than this, and more Stallone too, I guess.
Yeah, wherever Stallone goes, like no matter if he's directing it or not, when someone gets shot in a movie that he's in, they turn into like a fucking pile of hamburger. Like I don't know what it is. Just like whenever like that's what Stallone is bringing to action movies in this century. Like he is just
bloodlust,
just full, just gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a dude that fell down some chasm in the boat, and it looked like
Ooh.
Smash TV.
His head just exploded.
Or like
And
Narc.
they didn't linger on it. I wanted to kind of see more, but
Yeah.
then it just cut to their reaction for a split second, and then he cut to the next shot, and it's like,
Yeah.
I want to like kind of see his brains ooze out a little bit.
May
'cause
as well.
He's a bad dude.
We're on the boat. We may as well look at his brains.
Yeah, I do appreciate that Stallone's putting the nail in the coffin on his franchises because Schwarzenegger's leaving a lot of money on the table. There's so many things that he started that he
But
could finish.
Stallone, he puts the nail in the coffin, but then he resurrects it. He keeps doing it.
Well, at this point, Rocky's just going to die off screen. It'll just be like on a news chyron.
I think he
in the
already did.
background.
He died in one of the creeds. Like he's dead.
No,
So-
he had cancer, but he beat it. And then he just wasn't in the last one.
Well,
He might show up. Rambo kind of rode off into the sunset on a horse. If I
Yes,
remember right.
he did.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
So wait, we could get like 3 more of each, is what we're saying?
Yeah, and he's just gonna put them all together.
2 5s and a 3. I don't know how that falls.
That makes a lucky.
He should
13.
do Cobra 2 as a legacy sequel.
Yes.
That I would go see.
Everybody
With-
would love to see that.
With Dolph's Traumahawk. We got to get Dolph in Cobra 2.
Directed by Panos Cosmatos.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God,
The
would I see
original
that?
Yes.
Cobra director.
Oh my
Yes.
God, would I see that?
$1 trillion idea, boys, yet again. Well, anyway, Brother Justin, thanks for getting on this boat with us.
Hey, anytime.
Oh, man.
Let's parachute out of here.
Yeah.
Love and light, y'all.
Love
and light.
We gave our hearts, we gave it all. Flame in the fire burns forevermore. Sorrow and believing, honor and truth, erased by us blindly, wrapped around our youth. Peace in our life, remember the call. Oh, a tear for my brothers, think of them all. Home of the brave, we'll never fall. The strength of our nation belongs to us all. Time is the healing of souls laid to rest. Peace is the virtue, never forget. Tomorrow's an angel watching us all, telling the people she wraps around our heart. Peace in our life, remember the call. Oh, cheer for my brothers, think of them all. Home of the brave, we'll never fall. Strength of our nation belongs to us all.
This is really, really rotten.